Mr. A's Thoughts, 10th edition, $12.5 million offer to Deontay Wilder, or the 12.5 pounds. Now, I don't like repeating conversations, topics on the RRT Boxing Show. That's why I created this show. It's Boxing Talk. We talk about more conversation pieces than the same old you always see on other boxing channels, because this is the only boxing show, because we cover more and wide world boxing, but we're a small show. Your show is small. Like I said, I'm just the host of your show, the RRT Boxing Show. Ready, talk boxing. Thumbs up, please subscribe. Now we're going to get into it, and the reason why I am covering this again, because I did make a previous Mr. A's thought on the offer, but I didn't know what the offer was. I just knew Joshua in his interview stated they sent one. So after that segment, it came out as a 12.5 pound offer, and everyone, it's all over the internet. Ridiculous. Now, this is not a biased show here, folks. This is the boxing show. Ready, talk boxing. Now, as a fan, I believe 60-40 split is fair. Joshua is well deserving of 60%. He has 3 belts. A side, clearly, Wilder, final piece of the puzzle, a longer reigning champion. You know, we're not talking about how many fights people done it in, who's fought who, careers, and who has blah, blah, blah. You know, to me, they're both Olympians, blah, blah, blah. None of that matters on this show. Champion. That's what we're talking about. Now, straight down the middle. No bias here. Fan-wise, 60-40 sounds cool to me. Now we're going to break it down to, is the 12.5 really a good offer? Should Deontay Wilder accept it? I'm going to say no, because of simple rules. You know, and this is where I'm doing this so the audience can get a clear understanding, no bias, no argument, to help you get a clear understanding of boxing. You know, now everyone's talking. What I'm going to be talking about is a lot of off interviews, off previous percentages from other people, statements made by both sides of the team. Now, we're going to start off with what held the negotiations between Parker and Joshua was, remember, Parker asked for 40, it went down, and Team Joshua went down to 30. Then somewhere, you know, I forgot Parker's promoter, Higgins, he said the fight is very close to being made. We're talking somewhere between 31 and 33-ish%. Remember, that was the talk. Now, so we're going to go with 33%. We'll just go with that number because we don't really know. Now, the 12.5 offer, is it a good number? Now, this is based, now what we're going to talk about now we're going to keep the 33 from Parker on the table because we're going to bring that into it. And then we're going to, recently, Coogan did a long interview, you know, big ups to Coogan. You know, he keeps us all informed on the state side with what's happening over there, so big ups to him. Now, us boxing people always got to, you know, help each other out. Now, what I'm going to talk about is based off that interview. Eddie Hearns is saying, you know, I lie in bed, I crunch the numbers. You know, I'm usually really good within, if I'm not within 5%, I get really pissed off at myself. So I sat there and I crunch the numbers, I crunch the numbers. 12.5 is an excellent number. Remember, it's the pounds. I get it. Pounds at 12.5 translates close to 17, maybe 18 million in US dollars. Pretty good money. Like I said, it is Wilder's highest payday by far. No argument there. Now, the only thing that messes Eddie Hearn's statement is, he says it's a really good number on the numbers I crunched, and then Wilder is declining it. So each person is saying this is what the fight is worth. If Wilder's team is saying the fight is worth more, and there's a lot of people out there in the world who think this fight is going to be $100 million fight, it could generate that. Now that decides a lot, and obviously Eddie Hearn doesn't think this is a $100 million fight. Now, he offered him 12.5 pounds. And then we go back to the Joseph Parker, and he said we did not pay Joseph Parker $33 million. We paid him, and he said this 12.5 is double what they're paying Joseph Parker. So you start to, and then I read in the article that fight generated about $30 million. So we just take those numbers, 30 times 33%, a 9.9 pound payday for Joseph Parker. And then we go with that 12.5. And you figure, now before we go into that, I say the 12.5 is a good, excellent, well-deserving number if, like the title says, if and only if. Now, I'll tell you, WBO regulations, the champion gets 75%, while the challenger gets 25%. Remember, that was the whole argument between Triple G and Danny Jacobs. They were trying to say, well, I don't care if you're a champion, you get what the rules state. The rules state you get 25%. And Danny Jacobs, oh, well, I'm better than the average opponent out there. Who else are you going to get this money with? So take all that argument with Danny Jacobs and Triple G and apply it to these two fighters. It's the same thing. The rules state 75 for the champion, which is the A side champion, because they're both champions. Joshua, 75%, 25% for Wilder. Now, what does Eddie Hearn think this fight is? He said he crunched the numbers, and 12.5 is the number he went out to. So we go with 30 mil for the Parker, divided by the 12.5. Well, not the 12.5. If this fight is a 50 million fight, 50 times the 12.5, 50 divided by the 12.5. I mean 12.5. I'm sorry, I'm getting all mixed up here. 12.5 divided by 50. That's 25%. So if obviously Eddie Hearn did these numbers thinking this fight is a $50 million, bigger than the 30 million. Like I said, I'm going with 30 million because that's what was reported, that the Joshua and Parker fight was a 30 million grossing fight. Now, if Eddie Hearn thinks that 12.5 pound is an excellent offer, and his head he sees this as a 50 million grossing fight, then he's right on spot money with 25%, 12.5 pounds. I have no problem with that. Wilder, if your team can't negotiate or get a little more, you don't deserve no more, because rules and regulations are you get 12.5. That's your 25%. Shut up, take it. Now the thing is, just like Team Wilder is saying, we think this is a big fight. A lot of boxing fans, professionals, fans, commentators, they think this is a close to $100 million fight. And Eddie Hearn said, I did the numbers. I'm right on track. I gave him a hella fight payday. He gave him what the rules and regulations is, but the thing is, Wilder is by rules and he is have to be given 25%. Now this 12.5 is 25% according to Eddie Hearn's numbers in his own creative mind. Now, if he was just Eddie Hearn is messing up by he gave him 25% of his own number. Why don't he just say, I'm going to give you 25%? And to me, that's where this is messing up. He's giving them 20. He's giving them rules and regulations. I have no problem with the offer because it fits right within rules and regulations. Champion gets 75, challenger gets 25, but no one knows what this number is. So he has to come out, since he's already given them 25%, say you get 25%, take it or leave it. Now there, no one could say a damn thing. You can have your fanboys, you can have whatever side you want to be on. Wilder, you're getting 25%, take it or leave it. Everyone has to shut up because it's under WBO, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the sanctioned bodies follow the same thing so they can unite and have unification bouts. If he says you get 25%, everyone has to shut up. That's rules and regulations, contracts. It's there. 25% for you, 75% for you. Now, he's not saying that, and that's where it's getting messed up. Can you figure 50 million, 50 million divided by 30, well, what's that? 50 times 33%. Well, we're going with Parker got 33%. That's 16.5 million pounds. You know, that's already 4 million more than what he's offering. And that's given the same, that's like that. We're going, remember, that's what Higgins said. We're negotiation between 31 and 33-ish. We just go with the high 33, just for easy number things. If Wilder got the same percentage that, like I said, they gave Parker a percentage. Rules and regulations, percentage-wise. They didn't know what the fight was going to be. They just gave him 33%. If Parker, according to Eddie Hearn's 12.5 offer, that's 25% of 50 million. So we're going to play with 50 million because that's what Eddie Hearns think this fight is. 33%, the same percentage that Parker gets, Wilder needs to get 4 more million, and he'll be equaled up with Parker. 33%. Take that 12.5 to 16.5, and there you go. Now that's all it is. That's all it is. If Eddie Hearn needs to come out with a percent, if he doesn't want to give him a 33%, because Eddie Hearn, I believe, he's saying 50 million. He's saying all the right things in the interviews on where it's the highest payday. Yes, it is. Absolutely, it's a fantastic payday, but it's just not set. It's set within the rules and regulations of his created number, and you can't fault Team Wilder. But like, how are you going to give me? Well, they haven't even mentioned that they got 25%. But how are you going to give me? This is us, your host of your RRT Boxing, talking with the audience of the Ready Talk Box Show. How are you going to give me a flat fee of something you don't know is generated? You're giving me 25% of your number. If you're going to give me 25%, come and tell me, hey, you're getting 25%. And then whatever the number is, I take 25%. You know, I think the fight, if not 100 million, I'm saying 75, between 75, 85 million. I think this fight is a really big fight. You know, I think there's going to be a humongous fight. You know, is it possible 100 million? It is. It really is possible. But I'm saying 70 to 85. I drop it in there. So, for instance, we're going to go 85 times 25%. That gives Wilder 21.25 pounds. So, as boxing fans, and that's what my job is here, because I'm the host of your show, the RRT Boxing Show, the Ready Talk Boxing. I get it. I watch a lot of channels because I like boxing, and I hear them spew, and it's entertaining, some of it. But after a while, you just get tired of bias crap. It's like, okay, the Wilder and Joshua is a hot topic, but let's talk about some other stuff. No one's even laying down rules. Everyone, all they're saying is it's a bullshit offer. It's a bullcrap offer. It's a bullcrap offer. 12.5 is an excellent offer if we know it's a $50 million fight, because he's right on track. Again, 25%. But the thing is, Eddie Hearn needs to say, I gave him 25%. And he's going to get 25% because like I said, it all boils down to we don't know what this fight's going to gross. I think it's going to gross anywhere between 70 to 85 million. There's a lot of people out there saying it's an 80 million fight. I mean, 100 million fight. Eddie Hearn is saying this is only a $20 million more fight than the Joseph Parker. And I'm going off the 30 million that I believe is reported in Boxing Scene. That's an article I read. The fight generated 30 million. And that 33% of that was a 9.9 for Joseph Parker. And Eddie Hearn said the offer we're making it is basically more and almost double of what Parker got. It's close to it. It's not double. It's close. It's like a third more. So if that's the only problem with this whole back and forth drama. And like I said, I originally stated I don't think this fight's going to happen. I believe he's going to fight Povetkin, the winner of Pulev and White for the IBF mandatory, and then the WBO, I believe, will be Gerald Miller if he beats Duhaupas. That'll be another mandatory. I think he's going to fight those three mandatories and then fight Wilder at the middle of 2019, if not the end of 2019. That's what I believe is going to happen. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it needs to be 25%, needs to be said. So that way, regardless of what it is, even if we go, okay, Mr.A, you think the fight is in between 70 to 85, let's go 70 times 25%. Wilder gets 17.5 million pounds. So regardless, he's about even if Eddie Hearn wants to play the 50 million again, and we'll go over that Eddie Hearn's number, because 20, like I said, and we're going with the 12.5, that's 25% of 50 million pounds. So 50 times 25%, again, 12.5. So that's where Eddie Hearn got that number from. He didn't just, he sounded like he's doing a great deal, like, oh, I did the numbers and blah, blah, blah. He didn't make that number up. He's acting like he's doing a great deal for Wilder. All he did was take rules and regulations and give it to him. He's just not saying that. And I do believe Eddie Hearn knows this is going to be a more than a $50 million fight. So 70, we did it. 70 times 25%, 17.5. 75 million gross times 25%, 18.75 pounds. And worst comes to worst, if this is a $100 million pound fight, Deontay gets 25 million pounds. Like I said, 12.5 is excellent number if this is a $50 million pound fight. Sorry to go so long, but we have to get this right. I want my fans, the audience, to know the truth behind this whole crap. So you just don't go back and forth and get tired of hearing the same old talk. Wilder deserves this. Joshua's the A side, blah, blah, blah. At least if you're on this show, you're watching this show, you know the truth. And that's what I am here for, as your host, Mr.A, the host of your show, the Ready Talk Boxing Show. Hearn, tell Wilder, and I'm a big Wilder fan. He's actually my second favorite fighter, right behind my recently defeated Erislandy Lara. So I have no biased opinions. I'm a boxing fan just like you. On the Ready Talk Boxing, Mr. A says, Hearn, stop the whole drama. Tell Wilder, you're getting 25%. Shut the hell up and let's fight. Rules and regulations, 25%. I'm your host, Mr. A. Hope this helps you out. Thumbs up. Please subscribe.